What's up, Van Fam? It is Ben Price back at you again today with another video, and today we're going to talk about some shit, specifically where you shit in a van, the toilet. Now, this is one of those things that we always have to talk about with our client, and no one really likes to talk about those things, so I figured we're just going to make a quick video about all the kind of typical things that we go over and why every single one of our clients has chosen to go with this option, which is a hybrid composting and disposable toilet. We'll talk a little bit more about how that works, specifically what this is, and then why they've chosen that. But we'll also talk just a little bit about the other options real quick. I will have links down below for some other videos that go more in depth on all the different options that I talk about. Those people know more about them. I know more about this one, so this is the one that we're going to cover the most. And in typical YouTube fashion, I will have links down in the description for any products that are available on Amazon, trying to make your DIY jobs just a little bit easier to shop for. Okay, so real quick, we'll go through the other options first. Just hit a couple of hot points about why I don't like them, and then we'll talk about our option, the hybrid composting and disposable one. So number one on the list is the most traditional, which would be the black water tank, which you typically see on RVs and trailers. This is quite literally a tank underneath the vehicle, whatever it happens to be, that captures all of your waste and you have to clean it out. This one is the most like what we're used to in the house, where if you don't see it, it's not there kind of thing. But that is not entirely true, because you do have to clean it out, and there are parts when you do have to see it and you are reminded that it's there. Some of the other reasons why I don't like this is it's the most expensive option available for dealing with waste, mostly because there's a lot of hardware and components, custom bracketry and stuff like that that needs to be installed, and that, of course, also takes a lot of labor. And at the end of the day, even though it is more hands-off when you're cleaning it, you still have to take out, set up, and then put away cleaning hoses, which are gonna get wet, and I don't know, it's just all still gross to me. I would just avoid all of that if there is an option, and luckily there are other options. The next option on the list would be a cassette toilet, and this acts somewhat similarly like a black tank, in that there is a tank that contains all of your waste, and at a certain point you have to dump it and you have to clean it. The difference this time is that it's much smaller and designed to be portable, so you have to physically carry it and empty it and clean it, so you are much closer to your waste.
Oh, it's splashing me! Oh!
So this one is actually my least favorite on the list. One more negative to these is some of them come with a freshwater tank and the ability to flush, which you might think is nice, but water is one of the heaviest things that we put in a van, and if you are dedicating, sometimes I think it's like 5 gallons just for your toilet, that's a lot of weight to be carrying around for something that honestly most people are not doing in their vans very much. And if you plan on putting this thing away and taking it out, you have to move that amount of weight, which in vans is always difficult, moving heavy things, because we got a lot of tight space and it's usually down low, and yeah, lots of reasons why this is my least favorite of the options. Third option on the list would be no toilet. Many people opt to have no toilet in their van and just use, public restrooms or in their office, gym, whatever is available. And that, when I first moved into my van many years ago, that's what I opted to do. I figured there was plenty of public options around and I just didn't want to deal with it. It was just kind of out of my brain space at the time, so I didn't. And this does work out for the most part. If you can plan. I'm just gonna say that this is the riskiest option on the list. You calculate your risk and decide at your own free will. The last alternative option to what we typically go with would be a full composting toilet. And this just means you've got some sort of container with composting material. That means organic material that will break down naturally over time. Typically that's absorbent. and you'll layer the composting material and waste, and then composting material and then waste, and you can quite literally fill up the container. It's doing its natural organic thing. If you use the right amount of composting material, there should be no smell, and if there is smell, add more composting material. And then once it is full, or as full as you want it to be, you would have to find, a natural place where you can dump this composting material and it's not going to interfere with anything around. Now, the downside of this is finding a place to dump this. Not always the easiest place to find a composting pile. And then there's the fact that you're still carrying around your waste with you, and some of us may not be that comfortable with doing that. And that brings us to my favorite option, all of our clients' favorite option, which is our hybrid composting disposable toilet. So I guess there's actually another option on this list, which would be the full disposable toilet, where everything that you do is meant to just be disposed of right away. I'll throw a couple options on the screen here that are on Amazon. They're foldable and completely portable. The downside of that would be breaking it down and setting it up every single time you want to use that. Again, not something that I'm really into, not something my clients are really into. So what makes this a hybrid composting and disposable toilet? Quite simply, we're taking the functionalities of both of them, putting them into one form factor. We've got the Home Depot bucket. We've got a plastic bag already in there. And then this is from Camco, which is just a popular RV supply store. This is a toilet seat that latches right onto a typical 5-gallon bucket. And inside, don't worry, this hasn't been used, this is fresh. We've got our composting material. And what I like to use for convenience is actually a small pet cage lining material. This stuff is kind of intended for the same use, really. It's absorbing the waste of the pets. You can see here on the label, we've got odor control guaranteed, 99.9% dust free, because the alternative is wood dust, sawdust, and then 2 times more absorbent than wood shavings. Again, more benefits over the standard wood shavings. Wood dust, sawdust, whatever you want to call it. This bag I think cost me about 11 bucks. I can pick it up at Target or many other big box stores, so it's readily available, versus sawdust, where I'd have to either collect it from my shop here, or if I'm on the road, go find a sawmill, which could take some work. And doing that kind of work when you just want to do your business is less than ideal. Okay, so the strategy here is that most of the time, most people are not relying on the toilet in their van for 100% of their needs. Most of the time, you really only need it in emergency scenarios, especially if you are a renter, a weekender who's going out to campgrounds, or out in the sticks. You're going to RV parks, or you're a working professional that most of the time is in, an office building or public space with access to, public restrooms. So then we really just need something that kind of just fills those gaps and gives you an affordable, mess-free, hands-free, quick solution, that's as close to, comfort at home as possible, which gets us here. So we've got our composting material inside, which means that's going to soak up a lot of the waste, and that's going to help get rid of the smell. And again, if there is smell, add more composting material. It's just that simple. And then the only amount of time that you have to keep this with you is really as long as you want. You could fill it up like a normal composting toilet and then throw out the whole bag at the end of the trip, if that's what you so choose. You could get rid of it as soon as you see a trash bag. That is all up to the end user and what they have available to them. Now, of course, I know someone's going to say something about the environmental impact of the plastic bags. And yes, that is undisputed. You are throwing out plastic. That's a choice you have to make. I would argue that at least a lot of our waste disposal options are not eco-friendly one way or the other. So this is just, the choice that you have to make up to you. And for our clients, it's kind of that last option where I said they're, either working professionals or weekenders, where the purpose of the van is to be rented, in which point, yeah, most renters are not familiar with this kind of stuff. They're gonna plan their trip so that they have public restrooms available, or they'll be prepared to, have some kind of alternative option. Either way, everyone that I have talked to when we've had the conversation that you and I just had, they've all opted for this one, myself included. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think, and then if there are any other alternative methods that you know of that we didn't cover. Always down to hear about that. Thank you very much for watching till the end of the video. If you guys want to check out what we're doing here at Vamanos Vans, follow us on Instagram at Vamanos Vans. Check us out at www.vamanosvans.com. Links are down in the description. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.